Hey everybody, that is Lauren, and my name is Russ, and this is our Sunday vinyl video. We are doing a short series on some Record Store Day 2024 pieces that were sent to us to take a look at for the channel. And I gotta say, this one is one of the highlights that we had a great time with. This is one that I didn't know too much about prior to looking into it for like, oh, okay, well, we're going to get this sent this. I want to take a look at it. It is Talking Heads, the Art Record Store Day 2024 pieces live at WCOZ 1977. Now, what's interesting is, again, I said, oh, I didn't know too much about this. Well, over the years, I've ordered, I've owned the album. The name of the band is the Talking Heads, which is a fantastic sounding live record by the Talking Heads. And before I dropped the needle on this, I found out that this is that, but the complete show.
Oh.
So there's like I want to say there's 7 tracks on here that have never been released before. And in the interest of not, because I've heard that from live albums before where they'll say, oh, it's the whole show. And then it's like maybe like 3 songs, and it's like 3 songs that were cut for a reason, you know? In the interest of not just having it be, oh, well, this is the full show now. It's at 45 RPM for the first time, and a record that, or a show that sounded fantastic in the first place now sounds even better. So we'll get into all of that. We always go through the same things when we talk about our vinyl releases, and starting off with the packaging. So the packaging for this is basic, but like I so much expect that from the Talking Heads in the late 70s. You know what I mean? Like it would be like wrong if this had like gold foil and die cut. You know what I mean? Like you would just be like, that is way too much for the Talking Heads at that time. And if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, say it with me, rice paper inner sleeves. They included rice paper inner sleeves, which I think if you're like records, I think all Record Store Day pieces should have them at a bare minimum. Like if it's supposed to be a collector piece or something special, why not? So they included.
They did it.
Yeah, they did. But this is, like I say, so when you get this package, you're getting 2 LPs, all 14 tracks of this show available for the first time. And the reason why it's over 2 LPs is because it's at 45 RPM, which takes us to the sound. We've done videos on the channel before about the argument of whether something should be cut at 33 or 45. To me, it's a lot of it is beauty is in the ear. Like I feel like I know certain people I could play a 33 RPM version of an album and then play a 45 and they would go, I didn't hear any difference whatsoever. And then I know I have people who I've done blindfold tests with, and they've been like, this is the 45 RPM version.
I'm not that person.
No, I know. But with this, I'm kind of glad there isn't a choice, like that they didn't do it at 33 and 45, that they're just like, look, this is just at 45, right? It sounds gargantuan. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely not wrong. I went into this totally blind. I knew nothing. I knew nothing at all. And
I mean, you knew the heads and like
I know,
but like about this release.
I knew nothing about this release.
I just didn't want somebody to get in the comments and go, "Oh, she said she didn't know anything about."
No,
the
I know.
Heads. Yeah.
I know the Talking Heads. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I had a
That
big
was my
suit jacket
impression
once.
of the average negative commenter.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
But no, I was sitting there listening to this, and do you remember me going on? I was like, oh my God, every new track. I was like, oh my God. And David Byrne's so cute because he's like, the name of this next song is, and he would just say it and then keep going.
Yeah, we'll take it offline, but I have a whole thing about that when people say the name of the song before it, and it's a whole thing. It dates back to Ozzy doing it back in the early days. But what's funny is, full disclosure, when we were listening to this, I was outside cooking our dinner, and we were having an air conditioning opportunity in our house. And so I was closing the door wall a lot. And so I would come in when I'd open the door wall, 2 things. One, I'd get hit with this like wall of Talking Heads, and I'd be like, damn it, that sounds good. But with the door wall closed and being outside and having things sizzling, I could still hear you inside going, damn, so I was like, oh man, I'm missing it,
Yeah.
But I did get to listen to a ton of it. And I think it sounds fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Price. We've mentioned this in the last video, and we're going to talk about it again here. Pricing and value are the 2 things we talk about. There's no good way for us to do this with Record Store Day pieces other than to do the face value, because who knows what it's going to go for someday. So the price that it was available for on Record Store Day, steal of the century, if you ask me, $35. I would pay $35 all day, every day, and twice on Sunday for this record.
They're practically giving it away.
I know. Yeah. I mean, And yes, it's only one show, and yes, could be one record. If it was 33 RPM, I would still pay $35 for it. This is one hell of a show. Value, it's a steal at $35. If you love the Talking Heads at all, like even if you like, you and I have talked about this a great deal. Like when I was a kid, I asked my sister if she'd heard of this new band called Fleetwood Mac because they had put out a single I loved called Seven Wonders. She was like, tee. I thought Uptown Girl was the first song that Billy Joel ever released. When I was a kid, like, and I always thought this band just started now, right? So for me, the Talking Heads' first single was Burning Down the House, and then years later I went back and I was like, oh yeah, okay. So it turns out, right? No matter where you're at, like if you're me and you're like, yeah, they're burning down the house and forward, like you just buy this and you'll be so excited,
Yeah, that's one of the points I wanted to make is that this is very much this is like a primer on early Talking Heads.
Oh, for sure.
That's what, you know what I mean? Because much of the material on here I didn't know at all.
Really unique stuff.
And like if all you know is like burning down the house and onward, it's an interesting energy on this, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so. It's a thing we say in the house a lot. It pleases me greatly. So we like it a whole heck of a lot. If you have any questions, really, the only thing we usually get, because you've probably seen pictures throughout the thing, of the only thing we usually get is like, hey, can you show us more of this? Or, does it list that? This is such basic packaging. I doubt we're going to get those type of questions. But if you do have any questions, by all means, drop them in the comments below. If this is your first time on the channel, hit the subscribe button, please, because we have 3 videos every week. If you're already subscribed and you haven't hit the notification bell, now's a great time to do that because we have videos on Sunday, Thursday, and Saturday, and you'll get notified every time we have a brand new one. And if you do all of that, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. As we always say, thank you so much for watching.